benefic, meaning one that says yes, is not always a great thing. When two beings who say yes together get together, it's not always a great experience. In my life, I'm usually the one who's like, yes, let's go, let's figure this out.
Me
And then like
too.
we're into trouble because we're like, yes, yes, yes. But if you have two people who say no, it's not always a bad experience. A malefic is not always someone who brings
Yeah.
bad. They just say
Right.
no. And so
That's so
Mars
true.
and Saturn have like more boundaries, or they're more cutting, or
For
they're more
sure.
discerning. That's something that's
Yeah.
about the idea of a benefic. And when two benefics meet in the sky, they inevitably expand something. And that's not just because Jupiter is the planet of expansion, but it's like when you bring two energies that are similar in a certain way, that experience becomes more prominent.
You're listening to Parts and Charts. I'm Chelsea Owens, a therapist certified in internal family systems, and my co-host, KP Kajabowski, is an astrologer. We're testing the theory that IFS and astrology are mapping the same inner territory. Every episode, we put that to the test. Glad you're here.
Firstly, we should mention that this is publishing the Friday, I guess 2 Fridays before our first in real life workshop that we're doing as a part of Parts and Charts.
Mm-hmm.
It's in San Francisco. It's in the Sunset. It's at Birdhouse Gallery on Judah Street. It's a really cool new gallery. And what we're doing is, I'll let you talk more about like what it's going to feel like. But what we're doing is we're connecting our charts, like our planetary experience, with like going inside and meeting the sun and the moon as parts of us, and then making art in response to them. And like we are encouraging people to make figures out of their sun and their moon, because that's how we've been kind of interacting with it. But like you can do whatever you want as a way to like make real and make tangible your experience in that workshop. And that's why it's 3 hours long, because it's kind of like a 3-step process, and it's like mostly hangout time, like chatting while we're like painting and collaging. But Chelsea, do you want to maybe talk about like what our process is, because you've led this virtually, I think 3 times at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be magical, it's gonna be mystical, it's gonna be meditative, it's gonna be therapeutic, but also who knows, it could be anything. Who knows what's gonna happen? I think it's gonna be just a really, 3 hours so that we have enough time for some astro learning, astro education, some chit chat. If people don't know anything about their chart or don't know where their sun and their moons are, we'll do that. We're gonna meditate, we're gonna get inside, and we're going to get weird. And I'll probably bring, I mean, I don't want to even limit it to painting or collage. Like maybe we'll bring some other stuff. Like I want to get funky
Yeah.
and
Beads.
really let creative juices flow,
Yeah.
and or making more than one thing. Like you don't have to stop at, there's no limits, because in-person creation is so energizing. One of my favorite things to facilitate and to be a part of. So I really just want everyone to let it all out. And I just want to have as many art materials as I, have, just let it all out and let people create. So it's going to be a blast. Last time we did the in-person, you were there for the in-person future collage party. Yeah, but we had, I think, 2 hours, but we
Yeah.
barely, like, it felt like we could have gone longer. Like, people were really getting into it and chit-chatting and just, like, having such a blast that, like, I had to cut it off early or not even early, like, it was on time, and still, like, we could have kept collaging into the night.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Oh,
it feels,
the
yeah,
best part was hearing everyone show their collages and talk about like what occurred to them in the meditation beforehand, and like why they
yeah,
chose elements. And I felt like I like made friends because
new
we connected
friends,
so,
right?
it wasn't like intimate, I would say, but it was
Yeah.
real. It was real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's on solstice. It's in San Francisco. If you live in San Francisco, there's a link in the show notes. It's priced reasonably, I would say, basically to cover costs of the venue and the supplies. And
Yeah.
we wanted to do that on purpose so that we could have
Yeah.
as many people join us as possible. And it's on solstice, the longest day of the year.
Yeah.
Um,
Which, if you guys, the listeners of Parts and Charts, if you don't know, or maybe you do know, I am a Cancer sun. KP is a Cancer moon. So this is the Sun and Moon workshop on the solstice, the first day of Cancer season. Like, how magical is that?
Yeah, it's perfect. Also, I have Jupiter in Cancer in my birth chart, and he's about to leave Jupiter in Cancer. So it's like
Yeah. It's
a
like a
good moment.
goodbye. Yeah, yeah, we'll honor that as well. Speaking of Jupiter, our time daddy, our time
Wait, he might be your time
I
daddy
think he's
right
my
now.
time daddy.
Venus is my time daddy right now.
Okay. Oh, well then
Yeah,
perfect. Oh my God, here
yeah,
we
perfect.
are. We have this beautiful conjunction junction happening.
Yeah,
Do you want to give us a little intro? Because yeah, it right now, yeah, it's has yet to happen. It's tomorrow, the
hmm
9th. But really, it seems like we're gonna feel this magic like today, tomorrow, Wednesday. I don't know, the rest of the week. Let's just say, right?
yeah. So, in the technical sense, Venus is the faster moving planet. So Venus is applying energy toward Jupiter, and then tomorrow they're going to be at exactly the same point in the sky. So tonight you can see them really,
Yeah,
really close to each other, and they're really bright. I'm in
yeah.
Wisconsin. They're really
No
bright.
telescope. Yeah, no
Yeah,
telescope needed.
it's so cool. And I think there's also you can see Mercury close by on the
Hmm.
17th, I believe. Anyway, so
Hmm.
Venus is slowly, slowly, slowly getting closer to Jupiter. And that's to say that because Venus is applying energy, we can I feel like we take the role of Venus as we enter Jupiter's energy. And Venus is a more personal planet because she's closer to us, because she's faster moving. And then Jupiter is a much further away from us, even though he's humongous and we can see him because of that and slower moving. So
Just
that's,
900,000 kilometers away, but
is that
or like,
really?
oh, it's something like crazy like that, or like that's how
Yeah.
far away he is from Venus. But even though it looks like they're kissing in the sky from our POV, but
Yeah.
they're actually like so far away from each other.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
cool part of astrology too, is like it really is from our perspective and like just the same as our how we live our lives. It's everything is from our perspective. Like what we pay
Yeah.
attention to is our reality.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's some technical stuff about that. The more like poetic, mythopoetic element of a Venus Jupiter conjunction. Conjunction means that they are connected, conjunct at the same degree in the sky. So backing up a little bit, we're calling this episode Friends with Benefics, obviously playing on Friends with Benefits. Okay, so there are two planets in astrological concepts called the benefics, which are Venus and Jupiter. And there's two planets that are called the malefics, and that's Mars and Saturn. And benefic means one that says yes. There might be a more exact way to put that. And then a malefic means one that says no. And I think we can go anywhere with this conversation, but there is something that has been on my mind a lot is that a benefic, meaning one that says yes, is not always a great thing.
Hmm.
And when two people, beings who say yes together, get together, it's not always a great experience. Like in my life, I'm usually the one who's like, yes, let's go, let's figure this out,
Me
and then like we
too.
get into trouble because we're like, yes, 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 you know. But if you have two people who say no, it's not always a bad experience. A malefic is not always someone who brings
Yeah.
bad. They just say
Right.
no. And so
That's so
Mars
true.
and Saturn have like more boundaries, or they're more cutting, or
For
they're more
sure.
disarming. And
Yeah.
that could be a great thing if it's balanced. So that's something that's on my
Yeah.
about the idea of a benefic. And when two benefics meet in the sky, they inevitably expand something. And that's not just because Jupiter is the planet of expansion, but it's like when you bring two energies that are similar in a certain way, that that experience becomes more prominent, right?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
some
I could
basics
see
about.
like the yeah, maybe like a shadowy side of it being like people pleasing for one instance,
Yeah,
like just always saying yes or not having as cutting of boundaries around like what you're bringing in or not. Yeah. Or that maybe that's how it shows up for me, so that's why I bring it up.
yeah.
But I think I really relate to I think we both are maybe more yes than no, but maybe that's because of our charts, and,
It could be. I think technically my chart has more malefic
really?
influence. Maybe, but maybe not. I mean, I have a lot of Cancer energy. I have Jupiter and Cancer, maybe
Yeah.
some balance for me. And for
Mhm.
you, yeah, I mean, I think you have a good balance, but then you have Venus in Gemini, which is pretty open to
Mhm.
options, opinions, and, like, I would say
Mhm.
that that placement would say yes more than no. But yeah, it all depends,
Yeah.
and I think it real this experience is really reliant on what the planets are doing as they're moving around your chart.
Yeah.
And so currently, right now, Venus and Jupiter are basically exactly over your Sun and Mars. And so you might be feeling this conjunction more than other people because it's like they're expanding, they're bringing all this yes energy
Yeah.
to,
2 planet.
yeah, yeah. So it's like that soft blur or that beauty blur that Jupiter can give us.
Mm.
It's like, oh, anything can happen. Like let's just
Oh.
figure it out and see who we run into kind of energy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think it shows up a lot for me too, like, with spending money. Like, I'm always just like,
Same.
"Yeah, buy it." Like, friends will text me or, like, they take me shopping with them because they know I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, you should buy that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, like, also, could be overspending too. Like, I sometimes I'm just like, "Yes, yes, yes." Like, my inner childs are just like, "Yeah, I want that." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can get that." But
Uh,
but yeah, it's not always a good thing. It's like, then I look at my credit card bill and I'm like, "Ooh,
right.
Mars is mad."
Well, you
Yeah,
should have spoke up.
I know. Mhm.
Okay, so from there, I think maybe the question that we can work with right now is like, how do you become friends with the benefics? How do you play with them? How do you invite them over for a play date? You know, like how do you work with work? I guess work is not the best word. How do you play with Venus or Jupiter in your life? Or how would you advise someone who's asking that question?
Well, I'll give you a limited answer from maybe my lived experiences, but you're probably gonna have more of a scientific answer, an astroscience answer. So I'm curious what you are gonna say. But like I was just texting you yesterday, I was noticing a lot of signs, and I can't help but like just think it's like Jupiter, Jupiter
Yeah.
and with, like, with luck, like, I've had really good parking karma lately, which is, like, kind of a, really tangible, like, material world example, but, like, I'll, be going to, like, a coffee shop in a different neighborhood where there's really limited parking, and I'll find a spot right in front, or, just things like that, little signs and synchronicities. Like, yeah, that little piece of paper I saw yesterday that said the future, like, if after I was thinking about the future, like, little
Yeah.
things like that, plus animals. I feel like I don't even know if this is necessarily Jupiter or Venus, but I get a lot of, like, animal signs as well, and I should probably look up, like, what animals are associated with Jupiter or Venus. I'm not even sure.
I wonder. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, going back to, like, how they show up, I also just need to mention, like, Venus for myself too. I feel like 'cause I mentioned Jupiter, I think that I associate Venus with the Empress card, and an Empress
Yeah.
card is in the tarot, my like, soul card, my soul number card. So that's what I think of when I think of, like, if I'm just picturing Venus, I think of like this lush, receptive, and also generative, nourishing energy that's so connected to the earth, so connected to herself, her body, how she shows up with other people in the world, gives of herself, but also like doesn't overgive,
Yeah.
creative, so fertile. Yeah, that's for me how it shows up inside, I think.
And do you feel like when you enter situations, you know when it's a Venus kind of situation?
Like what kind of situations?
I think it would be different for you and me, but I think how they relate our Venus experiences is like
Mhm.
when we have this like ping to like create something, or like sit down at the table and make something. Does that does that resonate in the Venus way for you, or is it kind of dependent on other things?
I think so. I think so. I'm not quite sure I connect it, but maybe say more.
I guess what I'm curious about is like, how do you know when Venus is like shining upon you or when Venus
Mm,
has entered the chat? Like, is there something
mm,
that you know is
yeah.
happening?
Well, okay, it doesn't feel like something that comes in and out. Like it doesn't feel like there's a time when I'm not feeling her. Like it's
No,
always there. I guess I really do feel like I'm kind of most of the time in that energy.
that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense to me.
Does it? And
Yeah.
so I don't know if there's like really a switch or like a, oh, now I feel her, now I don't. Maybe I feel like it's always there. Like she's always there, but there's other stuff that like interrupts that for me. Like interrupts
Interesting.
that feeling or that way of being. Like, I don't know, probably Saturn or just like moments when I'm like I don't know, feeling all these other things, feeling sad or feeling a little bit more like let's get it done type of energy or yeah, there's probably other stuff too, but yeah,
That
so and
that's
because I'm always
something.
creating. I feel like my days, maybe like more my like non-work days, let's say, like my weekends. That feels a little bit more Venusian. The way that
Yeah.
I have if I have a spacious, if I don't have any other things to do, no other responsibilities, nowhere to be, like really I'm living my day pretty empressy, like
Yeah.
trying to kind of cultivate or notice as much beauty as I can, being outside, or I'll be outside and then I'll be like, I really want to go home and create something, or I really want to go home and I have like 5 projects in my head already. I'm like, okay, when I get home, I'm going to collage and then I want to do this watercolor and then I'm going to make a necklace and then I'm going to make dinner. And then while I'm making dinner, I'm going to start this new knitting pattern. Like yeah, so that feels like her to me.
This is
Even though it's in Gemini, but, like, I don't know really how that relates. I mean, I probably do, but, yeah. What were you gonna say?
it's exciting to me to hear that this is kind of like a base state and then other parts come in and get in front of her sometimes, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
I love how you're describing like you have these projects in mind and they aren't the same medium. In the same afternoon, you're
yeah.
not doing the same medium. Like that feels Venus and Gemini to me for sure.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. And like there's the adaptability between like what your hands are doing, but it's the same energy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm seeing how we are very different with our Venusian excess because for me it's like I do choose her and I have
Oh.
Venus in Scorpio conjunct Pluto. So it feels like I'm choosing her and when I choose her, she's ready, but also kind of like how long are you taking to come to me? Like I've been here, I've been ready. Um and it's more of a serious nature, but it's also so expansive and exciting and like there's so much energy in it. And I think
Mhm.
that's why I like the containers, even though maybe Venus and Scorpio doesn't like containers. I don't know. Maybe they do. But I like the containers of like, okay, right now I'm working on this project that is taking me 4 years. And right now I'm drafting this one section that I may never actually use. Or, like it feels
Mhm.
so good to me to do that.
Mhm.
And my Venus is ruled by a malefic. So my benefic is ruled by a malefic, but your benefic is ruled by a neutral planet, Mercury.
Yeah.
So I think maybe there's something there is that I don't think my Venus energy is my baseline, although she's always ready. It's interesting to think about.
Is and because it's Scorpio, it's just, like, a little bit more, like, hidden and secretive in a way that's, like yeah, you kind of have to get there. You have to go there and choose that. Like, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have to think about this a little more because, I mean, when Mars energy is involved with Venus or creation, there is this sense of like, I'm picking this. Like, you are the chosen one. You are my warrior. We're going. Where, like, maybe if it was all Venus energy, it wouldn't be so championing, it wouldn't be so dire or intense. But yeah, I have to keep
Mhm.
thinking about that. I would say though, my Jupiter energy is my baseline. Like I always feel like I'm in Jupiter energy, which is interesting to like
Oh,
see how that's different. And my Jupiter is ruled by a neutral in air quotes sign, which is Cancer, the moon.
I love her. How do you feel like it shows up? I mean, I know being your friend, like, you are very supportive of your friends. Like, you are always like, "Yes, do that." Like, you're just so
Yeah.
positive and so supportive, and you're like, "Yeah, you should do that. Do that, do that." Like, it feels very, very, very supportive. So, I know that's how it shows up, but how else do you feel like it shows up on your baseline?
If I'm thinking about, there's the astrologer Austin Coppock, who I think was the first person I heard say that Jupiter's like verb is to cohere. And
Mm.
so wherever Jupiter is doing something, it's in the service of coherence, of like
Yeah.
maybe not finding the commonalities so that people can get along better, but it's like it's making meaning of situations so that we can work as a society, as a group.
Mhm.
And so, like, I have a lot of Venusian energy with my Libra stellium. So, yeah, I am very interested in collaboration and working together and us getting along. But it's that Jupiter energy that feels more exact to my heart energy, which is like, I just want, like, whatever I do in my life to be of maybe not of service, but to be in the act of helping things make sense or make meaning together. And I think that's why
Mhm.
the astrology brain is always on. Like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if this relates to this because I'm trying to
Yeah.
find the coherence in everything.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it is so Cancerian in that, like, I love when like people are together, when people are like on the same team fighting for the same cause. Like that's how it feels inside of me.
Mhm. Wow, unification.
Yeah. So like when I'm feeling expansive, it's like it's the Jupiter and Cancer energy, I feel.
That's really cool. Do you feel like do you feel like he has a big impact on like your philosophy or your like thoughts in terms of how expansive your thoughts can be or even your consciousness can be? Do you notice that?
Oh yeah. So I've been
Yeah.
thinking a lot recently about how growing up I always knew I was intelligent, but I never associated myself with like the person who like the math person or like the person who would like the discrete knowledge application kind of intelligence. And I think that's
Mhm.
how intelligence is talked about most of the time. And I think that that was harder. It was harder for me in certain situations not to be so academically exact and discrete, but I always know I'm a highly intelligent person when it comes to emotions or like making meaning, like connecting the dots between people's desires and how to get there and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if I'm answering the question at all, but
Yeah. I
I just
guess, yeah, I just feel
uh,
curious about like if he since he is such an expander, like if and there's a lot to do about philosophy. He's so philosophical, but like, I wonder if that really helps just your like kind of mindset or what you think is possible. Like if he has a really big impact on like the expansion of just like I can do anything or yeah,
yeah,
really just like mindset. Like I don't want to say like even a positive mindset, but just like you lean towards like more like towards what's possible with a positive outlook and like optimism than
yeah.
most people.
I very much relate to that. And
Yeah.
also, like, I have a lot of motivation if I know it's out of love or it's toward care or love. You know what I mean? And like thinking about philosophy, I guess my concept of people who are like really into philosophy, like I knew a lot of philosophy majors in
Mhm.
college. It didn't seem like they were motivated by care or love. They were
No.
motivated by like the act of thinking was enough
Yeah.
motivation for them. And like that is for me too, but I need that more like I guess Jesus-y Beatles, all you need is love
Yeah.
kind of energy in
Yeah.
order to be motivated to think about why something is. Mm.
Is that because your Mercury is in Libra?
That could be, or it could just be the Cancer energy too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is now making me curious about your Jupiter in the same house. So we both have Jupiter in the seventh house,
Yeah.
but your seventh house is Aquarius, which is ruled by malefic, the other malefic, the Saturn.
Right.
So, is there something about, like, the sense of possibility? Is there limits on possibility for you? I don't know if I see that in you, but curious.
I know.
You seem unlimited, which is amazing. Like, you have so many
Yeah.
skills and talents.
I know. Has it always been that way? Probably not. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's like maybe as far as I can think back, like I do feel like I've been pretty privileged in how I grew up and like the family that I came from and just with that belief of like things are possible, like I can like things are going to work out and like it's going to be okay. I mean, there's 100% been times when I didn't believe that. So I've gone through lots of periods of like really doubting that. But when it comes to like certain areas of life, I do feel like and maybe it's also like impacted by my spirituality now too, like, how I've come to this point and really worked on some of those beliefs as well. Like it hasn't just been like everything's been easy and I've always had this like undoubting belief that things are going to be okay, but with certain areas of life, I'm always like, oh, that's going to be fine. And then there's other areas of life where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to work out. But yeah, so I feel like Jupiter really does expand me, and the more I've gotten to know him in the last, like, maybe year or 2, I feel like it's gotten, like, even stronger, like, I'm just like, "Yeah, like, things are possible," and I really love him, and I wanna work with him, and then, the past year having Jupiter in Cancer has certainly had an effect. But I don't really know, 'cause I don't even think I learned that Saturn is the, ruler of Aquarius until, like like, I don't know, last month, like, you told me that recently, and I was like, "Really?" And because to me, Aquarius feels so unlimited, it feels so, I don't know, big picture and, like, doesn't feel Saturnial, but maybe I need to get a little bit more acquainted with that and stop thinking of Saturn as, like, the worst.
I think
But it yeah,
Saturn work opens up possibility because
yeah,
Saturn work is about limitations and containers.
yeah,
And yeah, so I don't know if it's been obvious on this podcast, but I've been doing so much Saturn work probably since we started the
yeah,
podcast, knowing that the more
yeah,
I'm ruled by Saturn. So like if I get a choice, I
yeah,
can love him or hate
yeah,
him, and I could
yeah,
suffer or I can lean in,
yeah.
but on
And
that
I
idea,
think too, it's like, at least for my placement, I think Saturn's just refining the
yeah,
energy, because
yeah,
if there was too much of a yes, 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 let's say yes to everything, it I don't know if it would mean as much, right? I don't know if there would be, if you're just saying yes to everything, like, what is the filter there for discerning, like, this actually is a yes, and this is like a maybe, or this is like, we don't need that. And
yeah,
so I am appreciating that. So I wanna just say I'm appreciating that refinement of, like, let's just slow down a second and let's really make sure this is, like, in the highest and best, so that we can, like, really use that expansion energy to go the right direction and to
right,
actually put it towards, like, saying yes to the thing that is gonna be the best for me and for everybody. For everybody, really, because that's so
yeah.
Aquarius. Yeah.
So, like, Jupiter's energy when it's unchecked or it's not discerning
Mhm.
or using rhetoric and logic and all these things
Mhm.
to, like, dispel, things that are actually, like, really full of love, but he is
Mhm.
so influential and expansive in the way that he's delivering the information that you
Mhm.
believe it. Just thinking about, like, gluttony and bloat when there's
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
like, the marketplace and capitalism is a very Jupiterian I don't experience
Construct?
construct, yeah, like, more is better, more is always better, and then most people have a bad experience inside of it, and
Mhm.
that to me is so Jupiterian, but back to Jupiter Aquarius, I think that is such a beautiful placement in that, like, Aquarius will make sure that where the expansion is for the betterment of all people or all
Yeah.
systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
agree with you. Aquarius energy is so expansive to me.
Yeah.
But I think of technology as well. Like, if we, technology is always connected to Aquarius for various reasons, but technology is like, it's like beeps and boops and zeros and ones and wires and USB cables,
Mhm.
like these like discrete things that have to be connected in a certain way for things to work. And that to me is very Saturn, you know?
Yes. Mhm.
And, like, you have to have lots of resources to make technology work. Otherwise, it's
Mhm.
just a bunch of, like, wasteful resources on the ground not connected to each
Mhm.
other. So I love Jupiter and Aquarius energy because it's like you have the energy to put in the work to connect things in order for more and more people to benefit.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
And apply that logic
Definitely.
to all the other parts of your
Yeah.
life too.
Well, can we just talk a little bit about this conjunction?
Yes.
'Cause I wanna yes. Let's go back to that, because we were kind of, like, trying to make sense of it based on my chart. We don't have to make this all about me, but
We can.
because my sun, my natal sun and Mars are conjunct, which is so cute, and they're both at 25 degrees, which I didn't even realize until last week. I was like, "Oh my god, this conjunction is also happening at 25 degrees in Cancer." So
Yeah.
we're like, "What does that mean?" I mean, we may not know what that means until this week is over, or it may just feel really sweet and that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe fine. It may be benefic, we don't know. But tell us, yeah, what do you wanna say about this conjunction? What it could mean for folks? What do you feel like it would mean for you? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was watching the astrology podcast a couple days ago, and Brennan, the host of that podcast, and Leisa Schaim, who's on the podcast often, they were describing this conjunction as like an extended warm hug. And I think
Mm.
that's like a great way to put that because it's Cancer energy, 25 degrees Cancer, and Jupiter's exalted, and Venus does really well in Cancer. Venus is not like at home in Cancer, and Venus is not exalted in Cancer, but I would say she enjoys it. A
She likes
lot of
it.
really incredible poets have Venus in Cancer in the birth charts.
Sweet.
So the extended warm hug, I think if that is just the experience, especially this year with the other astrology going on,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, that's all we need. And this is the last time we'll have a Venus Jupiter conjunction for I think 11 years, maybe 12 years.
Whoa, for
Yes.
real? My gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had one last year and this is the second one. It's not always
No.
that we have more than one, too. So
Oh,
that's something to keep in mind too, is like, it's a pretty rare experience. That's not to
yeah.
mean it's gonna be like explosive. Like when Mars and Uranus conjoin, it's usually pretty explosive. Like explosive, exploitive and explosive. But I would say Venus and Jupiter conjoining, it's not always like a super clear event
Yeah.
in the public way or in the personal way. Though I really like I'm cautious with saying, Chelsea, I'm gonna stop believing in astrology if you don't win $1 million, because I've said that too many times in a row.
I love it though.
Yeah. So I'm like cautious about being like, oh, you're gonna have 10 new clients on, that kind of thing. But in general, like the way it's going to show up into people's lives is like it might just be like a really fucking great day. Or it could be
Yeah.
like a really great day to plan a hard conversation. It could be a really great day to launch a book or to just get outside, go to a cafe when you normally work from home or the office or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
If you want to work with the energy. But I usually don't like to work with Jupiter or Venus energy. I like to
Uh-huh.
just like enjoy it, which I think is what they want us to do. Like, they
Yeah.
just want us to hang, you know?
To receive. Yeah.
And so, like, I kind of feel in my gut, like, when astrologers say, like, oh, you should, like, email all of your clients with a 10% off coupon because of duh-duh-duh-duh. It's like, that kind of feels like not
Work.
Jupiter energy, though. That's not how we should be
That's a
doing
little
it.
bit more Saturn.
Yeah, or maybe Merc, or I don't know. It's just like, why don't we just have fun and not have to experience commerce,
Oh my.
in that way? Or we could spend money. We're gonna find the perfect perfume at the exact moment
Mhm.
of conjunction, that kind of thing. Okay, but going back to when Venus and Jupiter conjoin in general in any sign, it's the warm and fuzzy soft blur. Like we're thinking about the old Hollywood movie. There's that like really beautiful glamour shot with like the light glistening off of someone's skin. Like that's the vibe. That might be a little bit of Neptune energy, but it's just a good day.
Yeah.
And it's really important, I think, in context right now because we've had a really, really rough few weeks in the winter, in the spring, and then we are about to have remarkably rough astro weather in July
Mhm.
and going forward in the rest of the year for various reasons. Like, the July energy looks explosive and exploitative. The October, November energy looks challenging interpersonally. The spring energy, obviously, there's a new war. Like, so we've had a really rough time and we have these couple of weeks of softer energy, some rest energy. And so if you feel like you should be accelerating something or you should be launching something or you should be, the word should be, I would encourage people to soften that a little bit and just have a picnic, go to a park, go swimming, whatever you can do to like remember that you're in a human body for a finite number of moments and you only get to touch someone else's skin or your own skin very briefly. And so, like, you might as well hug someone. You might as well eat that. Like, I had a chocolate croissant for breakfast this morning, and
Ooh
it
la
was
la.
like remarkable.
Pain au
Oh my God.
chocolat? Wow.
It was a croissant. They didn't have pain au chocolat today. They had a croissant suisse as well, but I didn't get that. Anyway, like,
Ooh.
yeah, have the chocolate croissant. Don't do your homework at the same time as you're eating it and just enjoy it.
Mm.
That's my advice. Not that you asked for it.
No, but we did though.
Call your mom, call your grandma,
Mm,
call your
mm.
childhood best friend. Yeah, that kind
Only
of
if those feel good to you.
yes. Yeah.
Only if that's a benefic relationship.
Yeah. I would also say I'm thinking about a friend that we both have, and I'll say the name offline, but there's a friend of ours that has a really beautiful Jupiter placement in Pisces, and I feel like
Oh, yeah.
depending on her situation, I don't know if she's able to do this right now, but she's the kind of person with lots of Jupiter energy who would do the 10 hours of painting in the sun and like lose all sense of time and just like really fully throw yourself into that experience. So if you're that
Mm,
kind of person who already has a lot of Jupiter energy, you might just want to like put
mhm,
on the jams and paint for a long.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm. God, that sounds great.
that sounds really fun. That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
Seriously, can't yeah, I know. I'm like, cancel my clients, clear my caseload.
Yeah. Ooh, I might write I have this essay that's been in the back of my head about Gemini energy, and I think I might, like, put on the music
Right
and
there.
just, like, handwrite all my ideas and, like, dance around with it. That's what I'm gonna
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? What else should we talk about the benefics? Becoming friends with them or staying friends with them.
Mm, mhm. Yeah, what else?
What else? Is that it?
Is that it?
Is that it?
Well, like with any, friends with benefits situation, I think you get to a point where, you know, one of you catches feelings. I
Yeah.
don't think friends with benefits can last too long before one person kind of ultimately gets burned or it turns into something deeper. But, what we call situationships these days. I think that's kind of a that's kind of a friends with bennies. So maybe with these two planets because there's so much expansion and fun. They're just like, these two partiers who are just here for a good time. There's so much more than that, I know, but for the sake of this metaphor,
Yeah.
I think they could get to a point where you're just like, all right, that's too much fun, or yeah, I don't know, I don't know what that really looks like. What do you think?
It's interesting to think about this, like, literally as a friends with benefits situation, and, like, if you're going to your great aunt and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm dating this person I've been friends with since I was 10, and I don't like, I'm just falling in love with them, and I don't think they like me that way." Yeah, like, what if I talked about my Jupiter that way? Like, when is it too much, and when do I need to take space away, or when do I need to demand more?
Mm,
And, like, is that how we can work with the planets? Is that how we can talk with them? Like, "Hey, Jupiter, you're cool, but, like, I haven't I can't pay for rent," or, like, that kinda stuff. You're cool and you're so nice and fun and we're having a great time, but, like, can you help me with this part of my life? Is that
mhm,
possible? Like, can you make
mhm,
requests in that way?
mhm,
Yeah. What do you think?
mhm. I think so, but
Yeah?
doesn't it also matter, like, where it is in your chart,
Mhm.
if it's retrograde, if there's some other planet messing it up, right?
Yeah.
There's all these other ways too that it's like can be difficult to access the Jupiterian energy or the Venusian energy. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least that's what I've kind of noticed in my chart, like something, yeah, Jupiter will be in a good spot, like in Cancer right now. And I'll be like, yeah. And then it's like retrograde. Or like Mars is screwing something up. And I'm like, gosh, can I just catch a break? Can me and Jupiter just go hang out?
Yeah.
There's all this other stuff happening. Yeah.
I guess let's bring it down to a something tangible in my life.
Yeah.
So I've had the comment from other astrologers that having Jupiter and Cancer in my seventh house, like, oh, you must have really great relationships that last a long time. It's like, yeah, I got married pretty young, or like I met my husband really young in my mind, and like I really appreciate the people I consider best friends. Like they're so important to me, and I feel like we do work well together. That kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And so there's this part of your chart that has Jupiter there, and he's always blessing that. But then it feels a little like lopsided. Like, well, maybe the exact
Yeah.
opposite house. That's definitely my experience. The first house feels a little like not serviced. At least it did before I was 30. Or there's a part of your chart that has no planet there. And you're like, you really wish that you were the person who had Jupiter in that house. You had
Mhm.
Jupiter in the second house of income. Like,
Mm.
wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I guess that's what I'm thinking about. It's like, "Hey, Jupiter, like, thank you so much for bringing me a
Mhm.
person who I as a husband who I can trust has integrity, like, all these things. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm not saying stop. Like, please don't stop that. That's great. but can we just like put you in the second house for a couple years and then like have retirement money, and then we can go back to the seventh house and we'll have a great marriage forever, you know? Can I make that request of Jupiter? Or do I have to wait
Mm,
until Jupiter's transiting the second house, which is going to be 7 years from now?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm asking you, Chelsea. Tell me
See,
it's possible.
it's like we want, yes, it's possible, period.
Thank you.
But it's like we want to have the easy friends with benefit. Like the friends with benefits sounds, it's like the easy thing, right? It's like, yeah, that would be just like so great if it could be that easy.
Yeah.
But it's not, things aren't meant to be easy too. Like, and I love that Jupiter brings the ease, but it's also like the energy needs to be checked with all these other things too in
Yeah.
order to have the balance so that we have this full human experience, right? If it's unchecked, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's too much friends with benefits. It's like, it's not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
So, there's got to be like, yeah, maybe the long way or, there's different ways. It's a spiral, not a line to like kind of learn what you need to learn, get what you need to get and or be what you need to be.
Yeah.
Cause friends with benefits is too easy. You're not learning anything if it's that easy.
It's true. This is
But,
making me think of there are some birth charts who have no difficult aspects. I'm saying that in air quotes. Like there's no oppositions or squares. And it's all trines and sextiles, which are considered supportive or quote good. You and I don't have that. We have very dynamic charts with lots of difficult
stuff.
or challenging and lots of supportive at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's when you see someone with a chart that has only the quote unquote supportive aspects, that doesn't mean their life is easy. It means
Hmm.
that they expect life to be easy and that's their hard.
Ooh.
Because there
Yeah.
isn't that like challenge energy that like forged them in fire,
Yeah.
then like a difficulty level 1 problem for you, someone who has challenging aspects in your birth chart, is a difficulty level 10 for them.
Hmm.
And like I'm saying this with a lot of respect. I
Yeah.
hope.
That
I
makes
hope
sense.
that's how it's coming out.
Yeah.
But with people
Yeah.
who have lots of hard placements, like let's say lots of planets in signs ruled by malefics or like really strong Mars or Saturn things going on, their hard level 1,
Hmm.
like they can do the hard level
Yeah.
10 where other people cannot even get to the hard level 10. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And so
Totally.
maybe this is helpful to say, like, if you have a Venus or Jupiter placement that is in a challenging position, whatever that means, that could mean a lot of different things. But that to me is exciting in that you can do the level 10 difficult things with that benefic planet. And so I
Mhm.
have an exalted Jupiter, but maybe my hard level 1, like that's how high I can get because I'm so used to this exalted place of Jupiter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
And maybe that's also why, like, I can write novels, one of the fucking hardest thing to do on the planet, and, like, I don't even think that I have done it fully yet, but, like, I have Venus,
You're doing
my planet of creation and making, in a planet in Scorpio, which is ruled by Malefic. And so, like, I'm
Mhm.
things being hard when it comes to making things, and that
Yeah.
need to go hard.
Yeah. That's such a good point. Mhm. Yeah. And we all, yeah, have different lived experiences and different like reasons why, um, yeah, based on our lived experiences and what kind of becomes a little T or a big T trauma based on the
Yeah.
reaction that we have to any certain event, right? And for some folks, like something, it varies in degrees of like what that feels like in terms of struggle or trauma or like hardness, right? And like yeah, and no one's the same. It's like for some folks,
Yeah.
something that's, yeah, like maybe not a big deal or like something that you kind of deal with on the daily basis isn't, is really traumatic for someone else. So, yeah, I think that's really interesting to also think of it as like if you're kind of used to something being really easy in an aspect or area of your life, like yeah, you're definitely going to run into or like feel more challenged in your mindset or what you think is possible or like, this isn't fair or whatever, it comes up
Yeah.
in dealing with those challenges. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think we should wrap up here, and I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
you, what are you up to right now? What do you want people to know about your life and how they can connect with you, interact with you?
Wait, me personally?
Mhm.
How can you interact with me? What am I up to? I mean, I'm creating a lot. I'm playing tennis. I'm getting out of the house quite a bit, enjoying nature, swimming. It's going to be summer, so like I'm going to be outside a lot, camping
Mhm.
and hiking and all the things. I have a workshop coming up on the 21st on the solstice in San Francisco.
Well, maybe I wanna, like, wink, wink, you have an oracle deck, wink, wink.
I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's why you're asking. You're so cute. We're planting the seeds. We're using this conjunction. We're planting the
Mhm.
seeds and putting things out there. I really need to get my oracle deck out in the world. And yes, I should work with this energy to help me birth it. Outer Realms for Inner Archives. It's a very beautiful collage deck that is heavily influenced by IFS. I think it's the best. I think it's so cute and so mystical and helpful and wonderful. So I just hope to get it out there soon and look out. We'll send you the details of when there's maybe a pre-order or however I'm going to do it because I really want it to be in everyone's hands and I want it to help everyone.
Just a little
Thanks.
note that most of our collage art that is connected to the podcast is either from that deck or Chelsea making collage artwork. So
Yeah.
you already have a good taste of what it's feeling like if you're looking at
True.
our social media. And
Hmm.
also, in our show notes, we have an interest form if you just want to be on the list to hear like when there's pre-orders and stuff like that. So we will not send any messages that are not related to the Oracle deck at all if you sign up for that interest form. But if you want to stay in touch with podcast stuff, you should subscribe on Substack because that's where we're sending, oh, by the way, we have an in real life workshop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want people to know that we're not going to spam you. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like, it's going to be such a great project that we're going to talk about a
Yeah.
lot on the podcast.
Yes.
What else? Also, this will be published a few days after the conjunction. So if you want to leave a comment on the Substack post or send us a message and tell us how it went for you, like, did something really cool
Yes.
happen for you the afternoon of June
Yes.
9th?
Yes.
We want to hear. That'd be really cool.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Oh, wait, how to
What?
interact with me. By the
Yes.
time this episode publishes, I will have fully announced my offerings, my session offerings. I've been kind of like teasing some and taking some away and then reintroducing them. But now I feel very clear on the session offerings that I have, including like straight up astrological readings that are written, voice note, or live over the internet. If you live in Wisconsin, I'm happy to meet you in person as well. I also am offering astro parts work as sessions, and you'll read more about that online. And then I have 3 openings right now for my book doula client work, which is monthly retainer. I only take 3 people at a time. And we work together to make your book real. So if that is you, this is for someone who's like so dedicated into putting their ideas and their work out into the world that I can help you with. Like we're like making the thing. So if you're interested in
Hmm.
that, I am meeting with people this month. So get in now
Cool.
before. Otherwise, I have a wait list and I can message you when it is open. Okay, that's everyone. Everything. And I hope everyone gets kissed on the forehead
Mhm.
for the
Or on
conjunction.
mouth with
Or
tongue
mouth. Or soul.
or soul, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, love you. Thank you,
Bye.
Jupiter and Venus, Genus.
Yes. Thank you for joining us for Parts and Charts, the IFS and Astrology podcast. If something sparked insight or resonated with you, we'd love to hear from you.
No, really, we're here to make friends. Reach out to us. Leave a comment, subscribe, and if you feel called, share this episode with someone you care about. Or, if you want to work with us one-on-one and go deeper with this work, check the link in the show notes for how to find us.
Until next time, may all of you feel a part of the family.